So we have Uriah the Hittite. So who is the fan of Uriah? Which one of you likes Uriah the most for the inspiration of this next song that you wrote?
Who's the biggest fan of Uriah?
Yeah.
Probably Jesus. No, I mean, basically, I was just like, Uriah is the coolest name ever. Uriah. And I was like, Uriah. I was like, oh, I could do a song with this. So I didn't realize how well I knew the story of Uriah and King David and Bathsheba and Joab and all those wonderful people until all of a sudden I'm writing a song. And then I go and double check it for, historical accuracy against the, Kings and Samuel and Chronicles, and I come to this amazing revelation that I only had to change, I think, one line in it regarding the Ammonites. And, the thing is, Uriah is the epitome of love. I mean, this is a guy that laid his life down for the king. I mean, that's exactly what Jesus did. He laid his life down for God and for us. So, I mean, when you talk about someone who epitomizes what we should be doing for the sake of God, for the sake of this world, for the sake of the kingdom, I think Uriah just really, he hits the nail on the head. Definitely.
Exactly. It's not always every day you can find someone who can take the different things that are found in the Word of God and actually move it to a different mindset and the direction. Because so many people look at the Old Testament and so this is so boring, I just don't get it, and I don't like it, and there's all these excuses and stuff. And you guys seem to actually understand what you're trying to do and the direction of where you're trying to go. And what I like about I've Died Daily is, and I want to hear everybody's example and definition of this. What does I've Died Daily mean to you, and where do you see this going? Of course, the ultimate answer is, well, we're being the hands and feet that Christ has called us to be. We're just, being vessels to be used for God. But what is this message that God has given you guys individually to come together to actually be I've Died Daily?
Well, I think if we think of the band name, I've Died Daily, I know that in my personal walk, it seems like at times it's a daily struggle to put self away, to put self aside, and actually live for Jesus, and to do my best, sometimes feebly and sometimes boldly, to try to follow Him the best that I can. And when we came to, this name of the band, right off the bat, I just took it to heart and realized that, hey, when we think about the Christian walk, it's not an easy thing. And all of us come from different backgrounds, different experiences. I came to Christ in 1981 after I got out of the Air Force. And before that, I was an alcoholic, and God has just basically moved in my life and has chosen me, and His Son chose me to love me like He does. And so when I think of that name, again, the name of the band, it really, to me, kind of defines, this walk, this Christian walk that we find ourselves in to varying degrees. And I think that some days are more of a struggle than others, because self is something that is, to me, is a definite, well, again, it's that part of our humanity that we struggle to try to put aside and to take the focus off. And so again, and then on the other side of that, to be able to try to follow Jesus the best that we can each day, and to basically put the things of the world aside and to follow Him the best that we can.
I think that is a great way to sum up what I've seen and listened to. I've talked to Chris, and I've listened to the music and read the sites and everything. And to pick the name I've Died Daily it's a very bold thing and a very humbling thing all at the same time, because the message that I see you're trying to bring is to teach people how to die daily and to understand that, being a musician myself again, how do you do that? Because when you want to get on stage and play, there's always that struggle of self, like, look what I can do or whatever, and if you get to that point where it's like, well, I'm dying daily, these hands are going to play better. I remember when I was presenting my first guitar that I still have at a concert before I went to Africa. They said all the bands prayed over it and all the bands paid for it and everything. It was like 6 or 7 bands, and they all said that when you die daily and you play and you sing and you do things and you do it for God, you will play and you will sing better, and you will also learn how to play and sing better every time you do that for God. And when you don't do it for God, you're going to notice yourself, and maybe others will notice. There's been times when I can't sing or I can't play because my walk with God's not right.
I hear you on that.
Like tonight's one of the first shows that I actually felt like I could honestly sing, because I didn't think I was supposed to. So I actually decided to sing tonight because I felt that I could. But it's not something, that happens that often like we normally want it to. So does anyone else have another definition of what they feel I've died daily is, or have any other comments you want to put in?
Well, I guess the one thing that we've kind of all talked about and decided is kind of like our creed, is that we die to ourselves that we may daily live for Him.
Mm-hmm.
And our pastor one time talked about how when we wake up in the morning, we have 2 coats hanging on the coat rack by our door. We have the one called our flesh, and we have the one called Jesus. And even though we have every intention to grab the one that's Jesus, oftentimes we'll put the one of the flesh on instead. And he says, even if you decide, you know what, today I'm going to put on Jesus, you then have to be that much more careful, because otherwise you're going to drag Jesus through the mud when you step in it.
You're exactly right. It's why they say that we're ambassadors for Christ, and we're these high priests that can and should be able to be used to move us to this next place that we call our life. And too many people don't understand nor want to have to do this whole die daily, or deny their flesh, and it's a tough place to be. I understand. I mean, but when you finally want to submit yourself to be a servant and want to follow God, it's something that you want to do from the moment you wake up till you go to bed. We're going to take a break and we'll return.